Hello there, and you're very welcome to another episode of the Arkham Avengers FFPL podcast. You join me, the host, along with Eamon, Hector, and Captain Fantastical Mick, where we take a look to see how the managers in this league are getting on for the season. However, we'll also be talking about much more. So kick back, stay tuned, and enjoy. Hello, and a big welcome to this week's show, where I'm joined by Eamon, Hector, and Captain Fantastical Mick. Mick, welcome back. You had a nice break over in England, I take it.
Thanks very much. Yes, it's nice to be back on the show, and I had a nice break. I didn't expect to be away so long, but I met up with some friends and caught up with a couple of football matches while I was over there. And I listened to the podcasts as well. Very good show, lads, I have to say. Top marks. Plenty of perspective there, and food for thought, as they would say. And I can see there's been a little bit of movement on the table. Some of the managers going up, some of the managers going down.
Yes, certainly, there's been movement. And it's a little bit tight there at the top. Like, there's not a lot of points in it. And there's changes afoot. Managers, as you said, going up, others going down. Eamon, Hector, how are you both doing? I go first.
Yeah, you can go first if you want.
I'm very good. I be good. And the weather not so nice. It was raining quite a bit over the weekend. There was thunder too. I not see the lightning though, but there was an awful lot of wind. Very wind, much wind.
That's probably all the hot air coming from you, Hector.
No, Eamon, that's not so.
And Eamon, any news with yourself? No, it's all quiet. I had a few articles to write up, and it was a case of more business than pleasure for the last few days. But I'm good. Looking forward to this week's show.
Excellent stuff. Hector.
Yes?
I take it we are not going to have any theology or psychology of fantasy football this week. Why you say that? Well, for starters, I haven't received anything from you in writing.
In writing? What do you mean in writing?
Yeah, in writing. Remember last week I said that I wanted to take a look at what you want to talk about before you started off into another spiel about this.
I thought you were joking about this. You want something in writing?
Indeed, I do, yes.
I have to say, I listened to last week's show, and I didn't know what Hector was breathing on about. I thought you guys were doing some kind of a well-being segment on the show. This was some new thing, some healthy Hector or something like that.
Well, I can tell you something, that our well-being was being severely tested by Hector last week.
I'd understand that, Eamon. I could fully understand that. I was being tested myself, listening to this breathing in and breathing out stuff. I still wonder about this inner voice thing, though. Makes me wonder if Hector is hearing things.
I certainly wouldn't be surprised with that. The case of Hector himself and I think there.
Hold on a moment. Why is this? Become Hector week?
Well, what is your inner voice telling you?
Well, Hector, I can just interject here. Do you have any notes for me or not?
I know not to write down anything. I have nothing on the writing. I write nothing down. Hold on a moment. The other week, you told us you forgot your script or your notes or whatever you jotted down, and you couldn't remember a thing about this topic. This week, you have no written material with you, and you're all set to give us more of the useless rubbish about this theology and psychology stuff. Now, Hector, baby, what gives?
I tell you, Hector, I think the game's up for you.
I no say I was doing segment. I am researching more material. I have nothing wrote down. I have nothing to say.
All right, okay, you have nothing to say. So basically, in other words, we're not going to hear anything about this subject this week. No.
Hector, why didn't you tell us this sooner?
How could I tell you this sooner? I was caught off guard all these writing requests. Not forgetting that inner voice, though, Hector. Don't forget about that inner voice.
Okay, that's that over with. We'll move on. Eamon, are you back this week with Eamon Tackles?
I certainly am back, yes.
Okay, something at least for the show. Take it away there, Eamon.
Listeners, you're most welcome to another filling of Eamon Tackles. This is where I speak to you about those annoying things in daily life, which we all have to endure at one time or another. Today, I'm tackling those people who sit or stand beside you, having a full-blown conversation on their mobile phone. Yes, we've all been in that situation where you're minding your own business. Some
Aegis or Amadon announces their presence by including you in their phone call. Now, you could be on the dart, you could be on the train, or on a bus. These are times when you might want to switch off. You might want to read a book or listen to some music. You might even want to have a little snooze, only to have your bubble, your private space, invaded by some fool whittering on about last night when they might have been out and letting us all know how drunk they were. In case maybe they decide to discuss medical matters, either about themselves or someone that they know. And it doesn't matter sometimes you can have music on, but you can still hear this fool, this Amadon. One of the other favourite topics that they'll be talking about is when Arthur, or let's say Elizabeth, went off to Spain on holidays. Eamon. Yes, Hector. Who be this Arthur and Elizabeth? Do you know them? No, I don't know them. Look, they're two names that I just plucked out of thin air. They could be Seamus or Deirdre. Seamus and Deirdre. Who are they now? Are they friends of the Arthur and the Elizabeth? What on earth are you going on about? Are you on about these people? I ask who they are.
Hector, I think Eamon is using these names just in the purpose of the story. Doesn't mean that he actually knows them.
You mean they don't exist?
Well, I'm sure there's a Seamus or a Deirdre or Arthur and Elizabeth somewhere in the world, but maybe nothing to do with Eamon's story. What he's doing is he's adding their names in.
So in other words, Eamon is making all of this up.
No, I didn't say that. No. I didn't say that. What I said was he's adding the names in. He's using the names.
Does it matter who they are or what they're called? I'm using those names as an example. It's not rocket science, Hector, if I may continue. Now, I'm minding my own business. Do I really want to be in the part of somebody else's life? They're on a call. There's some sort of discussion about who's running day and night, the school run, granny with her bunions having to go to the GP. Eamon. Yes, Hector. You say your granny has to go to a GP with bunions. Why is the bunion? Hector, I think you should save the questions till after Eamon's finished. Thank you for that timely intervention. But, Eamon. Yes, Hector. Maybe you learned something interesting from the call. And that's it, Hector. I don't want to learn anything about these people, what they're talking about. I asked them what they're having for dinner. Like if he was sitting in front of me and I asked them, what are you having for dinner tonight? They'd look at me and they'd tell me to take a hike and mind my own business. However, if they're on the phone, they don't mind telling me and the rest of the world, or wherever they're, the bus or the carriage, what they're doing, what they had for lunch.
I always think it's nice to get away from the phone at times, lads. I'm a great believer of that, I swear. I power my phone off sometimes.
That's why we can't get in touch with you half the time when we need you.
Well, I do have to try and remember to switch it back on.
I wouldn't mind. I'm continuing here, okay? I wouldn't mind, if they moved to a quieter spot or spoke lowly. It's like that. They get all animated. They need to be heard, even by the cows in the field. And that's the case, the trains going by, the cows are looking at them, wondering what they're on the phone. The cows are looking at them while they're on the phone and you're on the train. Even that don't make no sense. Eamon, so basically what you're saying is here, you're having a go at these people who are on the phone and they're not bothered if you hear what they're talking about or not. Exactly. Thanks for that, Eamon. We look forward to the next topic you're going to be tackling. I still wonder about the Arthur and the Elizabeth. I'm wondering if you have any more information on your search for the mystery man of Moidu and the case of the recitation. Well, Hector, what have you got for us? The last week, you had narrowed down to a man who was a DJ in the 1970s and you thought he was up from Cabin Monaghan or somewhere up that place there. Yes, I have information. I have information.
You know something? I'm still trying to place where I know that guy from. I've seen him someplace, or I know him from someplace.
And you have no recollection, Mick. Maybe you were at a disco and he was a DJ.
Well, it could have been. I don't know. But I think I know him from someplace.
Okay. Hey, back to you, Hector. What have you got for us, though? As you know, my investigation led me to think that he is from Cohiman direction. That's what I last found out. I couldn't get over there, I couldn't walk the land and chat with the lads. However, I make a few phone calls, and man I get speaking to, I say, would he know anyone like this? He said to me that the mystery man, he could be in film, and the name of the film is The Butchery Boy. Oh, The Butcher Boy. Oh, this sounds interesting. Now, lads, Hector could be onto something here. Now, The Butcher Boy. That's the movie. That's based on Pat McCabe's novel as well, isn't it? Yeah, you're right. I looked this up on the internet. Very good. I have not got to watch the movie though. I look for it. I think I have to buy it off Amazon. However, like Columbo, I always had the one last question. And I got a name. Drum roll here, lads. Now, drum roll. Well, Hector, who is he? Yes, I have the name. Now you're going to tell us who this person is. The man who I think is the mystery man was down in my do giving the repercussion recitation. Yes. His name, I believe, is Patrick Graham. Patrick who? Graham. Eamon, did you catch that? I think he's trying to say it's someone called Patrick Graham. Yes, Eamon, that's right. That's what I say. Didn't sound like that, but I thought that's what he was saying. So this Patrick Graham, how did you discover this exactly? You were talking to somebody on the phone who mentioned something about the Butcher Boy, and you've come up with this name. Where did this fella's name come from? Came from the Northern Standard.
What's that? Is that a radio station?
No, Mick. It's a newspaper. The man I spoke about on phone, he told me about the paper. He said the man was at a recent celebration. And I was thinking, he had a recent celebration near there, or locally. He was down in Moidu giving the big recovery. Recitation. Yes, Eamon, that is it. In Moidu. No, the recent celebration, not in Moidu. Okay. So where was this celebration? I don't know. I don't know. It was for some sort of a priest. For a priest? A celebration? That's right. Hector, can I ask, are you really sure about this? I mean, have you got any actual evidence that this man you're calling Patrick Graham was in Moidu? The man I spoke with, he said that this Patrick Graham spoke up about the celebration for the priest. Therefore, I say, he speak up for the priest, he speak up in the Moidu. I don't know about this.
I don't know about this either, I have to say.
Hector, I'm going to put my tuppence worth in here with the lads, and I think you need to come back with some hard evidence, some facts here. I agree with him in here. I think, can we get this Mr. Graham on the phone?
That's not a bad idea. I like that idea. Get him on the phone now. Let's find out what he's been up to. Has he been in my do or not?
I have no. Hector, tell you what, we'll get some more details and we look forward to hearing your update on the show next week, okay? So get a hold of this guy, get his number, we'll get him on the show. Right, okay, I make some more calls. Excellent stuff. I'm still dubious about this fella who was doing the celebration. I mean, did you even see this Northern Standard? Yeah, the man, he sent me a photograph and I saw him, the Patrick Graham, talking notes for the priest. Okay, all right. So you just have a photograph of a person in a paper and a caption. Who's captured? No, a caption. That's a little piece of text, maybe either on top of it or usually underneath it, saying that this man, Mr. Graham, was giving some sort of a speech for a priest who was having a celebration. I think that is pretty much it. Yeah, I will have to look at my phone and go back. So I think you better have a look at that and in more detail. Or if you want to share with us, we'll certainly have a look at it. I did not bring my phone with me because sometimes it goes noising and I don't want to be noising on the recording. All right, okay. Well, Hector, you have your homework to do. So you come back to us next week with an update. And I'm sure we'll be interested in it. And so will our listeners. Yeah, I will do that. Okay. And now I think we'll move over to have a look at some football matters. See how our managers got on. Gameweek 11 had the highest points of 116, while the average points were 46. Mick, since you're back on the show, would you care to take a look at the top 3 teams of our league and tell us how they're getting on?
That's no problem at all. I'm all set for this. In Gameweek 11, in first place, there's been no change with this. It's Tiger, 54 points, 2 transfers. Perisic was brought in. James went out because he had a knee injury. Jesus was brought in and Tony went out. Well, Tony got 12 points. Now, The captain was Haaland, and he got 4 points. Jesus got 4 points. Mitrovic got 7 points. Zaha came in with 3 points. De Bruyne had 2 points. Maddison had 2 points as well. Andreas had 5 points. Delot had 9 points. Perisic, who we brought in, got 8 points. Trippier was there with 6, and the goalkeeper, Pope, he had 6 points as well. In my view, the transfers didn't really work out all that well. Okay, he got the 8 points for Perisic, but he messed up with Jesus and Tony. Should have left Jesus in or out. He brought Jesus in, did he?
Yeah, so he brought Jesus in and Tony out. That's what you're telling us.
Right, okay. So he should have left Jesus out, and he should have had Tony in. And he's got a solid defence, though.
Are you sure about this? I mean, you don't sound like you're too sure about this.
Yeah, man, I'm quite sure about this, okay? Tony stays in and Jesus doesn't figure. He's got 12 points. As I said, solid defence. Yeah, Delort got 9 points, Perisic 8, Trippier 6. That's what you're looking for. I do think the midfield is a little bit light, a little bit weak. But its manager is fighting on to hold that top spot. That's what they're doing. That's the main thing. The top spot haven't been taken yet. Will I go on?
Yes, please do. Would you? Yeah, talk about second and third spots there first.
Second place then is Raglan Road. 53 points. They had 1 transfer. Billing came in. He got 5 points. Soik went out and got 2 points. They also had Haaland as their captain. He got 4 points. Jesus had 2 points. Billing, as I said, had 5. Zaha had 3 points. Trossard had 2. Ronaldo came in with 2 points. Salah had the 8 points. Gabriel had 8 points. Cancelo had 2 points. Trippier had 6. And their goalkeeper, Guetta, got 11 points, which is impressive. A good transfer bringing in Billing. Good choice there. I think the forward's a little bit of a letdown there. Haaland just getting the 4 points. That him being the captain. Jesus not doing much better. I think they're still picking up points around and that's good with the team. The team are picking up points and they're keeping the pressure on first place. Third place, not change either. The good, the bad and the goalie. 51 points. 1 transfer. Trossard in for 2 points. Luis Diaz was sent out. He's injured at the moment. They also had Haaland as the captain, 4 points. And Kane was there with 9 points. Mitrovic was there with 7. Martinelli at 3 points. Andreas had 5 points. Foden at 2. Trossard at 2 points. Dyer at 6 points. Cancelo with the 2 points. Saliba managed to pick up 5 points. And the goalkeeper, he got 6 points. I don't think the transfer really had that much of an impact. Trossard only got the 2 points, but still picking up points around the team. You'll be very pleased with that, I should say.
Thanks for that there, Mick. Eamon, you want to have a chat about 4th, 5th and 6th? Well, there's no change in 4th place at the moment. Lafayette Lions is there, 57 points. And they had 1 transfer. Welbeck was brought in, 2 points. Mitrovic was put out, he got 7 points. They decided to go for Kane as the captain, and they got 18 points for that. Haaland had 2 points. Welbeck, 2. De Bruyne had 2. Martinelli had 3. Grosh had 2 points. Hushberg managed to pick up 9 points. Trippier had 6 points. Saliba had 5. Cancelo had 2 points. And their goalkeeper, Pope, had 6 points. The transfer option didn't work. Poor decision. They lost points. A good captain choice, though. They realised the difference. They decided to go against the run of the crowd. Opt for Kane. They're holding forth. And they are a team that is pushing for 3rd place. They're certainly not letting these lads at the top get away with them. Now, in 5th place, new entry in at 5 was last week's number 6. It's Camby High Cancelo with 56 points. 2 transfers. Kilman came in with 6 points. James went out. He's injured. Stupian came in with 1 point and Dini went out. He's injured also. And they too went for Kane as our captain and picked up 18 points. They had Haaland with 2 points. Rush had 2. Andreas had 5 points. Zaha had 3 points. Maddison 2 points. Martinelli 3 points. Perisic had 8. Kilman, as I said, had 6 points. Stupian had 1 point. Well, our goalkeeper was Pope and he got 6 points. Look, the transfers worked, but they're not bringing in a full impact. It's not like Thor has arrived with his hammer and shook this team up. Kane was a good captain choice, though. I have to give it to the manager there. I don't think they're solid in midfield. They are getting by, but they're not solid. The main thing is the manager is going in the right direction. They have managed to change their course, get themselves up to 5th. And he'll have his eye on a top 3 finish here. Down to 6th place from joint 4th last week, Arkham Avengers with 45 points. They had 1 transfer. They brought Dyer in and they put Gabriel out. Haaland was the captain for 4 points. They did have Tony had 12 points. Jesus was there with 2 points. Salah had 8 points. Martinelli also had 3 points. McAllister had 2 points. Anthony had 3 points. Cancelo had 2 points. Dyer, of course, as I said, had 6 points. Struijk managed 2 points. Our goalkeeper, Sanchez, had 1 point. It's a pretty poor transfer, and there's a lot of players who are not really performing here. The Spoofer is down to 6th. They're usually a 4th or 5th or 6th positioned manager. So they're part of the table that they'll enjoy. I'm not expecting any great things from the Spoofer for the following weekend. They might do a free hit. God knows what they will do. But they're just about capable of doing anything. And they'll be disappointed. They'll be crying into their cup of tea. Thank you for that, Eamon. It's very nice. Hector, do you want to talk about 7th, 8th, and 9th?
Yes, I will talk about him. In 7th place, with no changes, Wahab UE99, 46 points, no transfers. They had the captain Haaland, 4 points. Jesus was there with 2 points. Tony was there with 12 points. McAllister was there with 2 points. Martinelli had the 3. De Bruyne had the 2 points. Trossard had 2 points. Saliba had 5 points. Cancelo had 2 points. Martinez had the 6 points. And their goalkeeper was Pope. They got 6 points. They are holding their own. But I do not think the midfield are doing much. They could do with a transfer, in my view, I think, at this time. 8th place is the maximum effort. No change here either. 50 points. They had 1 transfer. They brought Anthony in. They got 3 points. And Luis Diaz went out. They're injured. They had Haaland as their captain for 4 points. Woodward went out for 2 points. Jesus had 2 points. Anthony had 3 points. De Bruyne had 2 points. Bruno Gamieres had 3 points. Thiago Silva, though, they got 7 points. Cancelo had 2 points. Botman, 7 points. And Van Dijk had 8 points. And their goalkeeper was Ramsdale, who picked up, 10 points, which is very good. The transfer brought in 3 points. There's not much more we can say about that. Not great. They are above the average. They're not going down. They're not going up. They're staying steady. Then up to, 9th spot is Klishpet, 55 points. No transfers though. They had Jesus as the captain for 4 points. Tony was there for 12 points. Kane had 9 points. Almiron had 3 points. Rodrigo was there with 1 point. Salah was there with 8 points. Harrison was there with 2 points. Trippier was there with the 6 points. Nico Williams also got 2 points. Cancelo got the 2 points. And their goalkeeper was Ward, who managed to get the 6 points. You pay about the captain selection. See, they had Tony there with 12. Kane 9. If they pick a different captain, they get, a few extra more points. Still players not performing here. This manager is very transfer shy. Not good. Need to do something about that.
Okay, thank you for that there, Hector. Now, Mick, would you like to talk about 10 and 11?
Well, down to 10th place, and they were in that place last week, was best season ever. 41 points. No transfers. Haaland is the captain there for 4 points. Mitrovic got 7 points. Jesus got 2 points. Bernardo got 2 points. Foden had 2 points. Odegaard did manage to get 6 points, and Trossard got 2 points. And the defence, Keher got 3 points. Trippier had 6 points. Saliba had 5 points. And the goalkeeper Henderson managed to pick up 2 points. I'd have to say, if I'm looking at this team, apart from 2 players, the rest of this team is very average. They're not showing an appetite for taking the game by the scruff of the neck. It's an average team. It's an average manager here, so it is. Makes you wonder if they anything left. What are they thinking about? Is this keeping them awake at night? Certainly, they're not showing appetite. And down to 11th then, and they were in last week's 10th places. Real, no stars, 26 points. They had no transfers. Haaland is the captain and got 4 points. Jesus was there with 2 points. Martinelli had 3 points. Decore had no point. Aronson had 2 points. De Bruyne had 2 points. Salah managed to pick up 8 points. Alexander-Arnold had 1 point. Walker Peters had 1 point. Cucurella had 1 point. Their goalkeeper, Edison, managed to pick up 2 points. I think the word, and Eamon probably would agree with me at this, what they use saying for this team, I call them has-beens. The manager is a has-been as well. This manager is not focused on doing anything. The season's finished as far as I could see. It's definitely finished.
Eamon, you'd agree with that, would you? I'd have to agree with that. They are a team. Well, put it like this. The manager is a has-been because they're putting this team out. And some of those players aren't fit to be playing on that team. I think the manager is just not tuned in, which is It's a reflection of what they think of their team. And they think of themselves either. Sometimes you have to have a little bit of respect for everything. Very well. Okay, Eamon, do you want to finish off the table first? Well, there's no change in 12th place. Blightsome squad got 43 points. They had 2 transfers and they lost 4 points. Castigan was brought in for 6 points. Alexander-Arnold was put out for 1 point. Kane was brought in for 9 points and Mitrovic went out for 7 points. They decided to go for Haaland as the captain and got 4 points. Jesus was there with 2 points. Kane was there with 9 points. Grosh had 2 points. Xhaka had 3 points. Maddison 2 points. Andres was there with 5 points. Thiago Silva picked up 7 points. Castigan, as we said, had 6 points. Cancelo 2 points. And goalkeeper Sanchez had 1 point. Sorry, how many points did Thiago Silva get again? 7 points. 7, okay. This manager took a punt with losing 4 points. But the players that they brought in did bring in return. They lost 4 points. 15 points came in. So they're up 11 points. It's taking a little bit of time here for Blightsome to find their rhythm, but they are, I believe, slowly turning things around. They're closing the gap on 11th. That's not going to be very hard. And there's no disrespect to Blightsome, but they will overtake that Real no stars quickly because they're doing nothing. However, Blightsome is trying to do something, and hopefully we'll be concentrating and have a good concerted approach for our next game week. In 13th place, no change either, would be Better Idea 22-23, 56 points. Didn't have any transfers. They had Salah as the captain. I got 16 points for that. Ings was there with 2 points. Tony had 12 points. Andres had 5 points. Ward-Prowse picked up 2 points. Højbjerg had 9 points. De Bruyne picked up the 2 points. Walker didn't pick up any points. Sanchez had 1 point. Alexander-Arnold had 1 point. And their goalkeeper Fabianski had 6 points. They got lucky this week. Salah produced the goods. They got the 16 points there. But by all means, do not be fooled. This is a chancer. This is a manager who is about as tuned in as that Real no stars. They are going no place. They're rooted down there. And it will be soon a case of we'll be glossing over this guy. And finally, in 14th place, no move for this manager yet. Silver stroke. But they got 62 points. They had no transfer. They also had Salah as the captain. I got 16 points. They did have Mitrovic, 7 points. Haaland was there for 2 points. Greenwood got no points. Mount had 15 points. Marsh had 2 points. Saka had 9. Cancelo had 2. Bueno had 1 point. White got 6. Their goalkeeper Edison had 2 points. They also got lucky that Salah decided to wake up and start scoring. Greenwood needs to go. Like, it's constantly in and out here. No point for this guy. Get him off the pitch. The midfield isn't too bad. And I think a transfer or two wouldn't go amiss for this manager. And that's our wrap up for the league table this week. Thank you, lads, for that. And I suppose finally, Hector, it's over to yourself.
Okay, I'm ready. A big hello to all our listeners, and I say hello to our listeners, to Hector's hello. Firstly, I want to thank all our listeners and say hello to them in Nixa, Missouri. We have listeners in Frankfurt on Main, listeners in Bavaria, Dublin, in Cavan, Monaghan, Mayo, Galway, Cork, Limerick, Waterford, Longford. We have listeners in UK, Italy, France, Denmark, Spain, Scotland. I'm wrapping up here shortly now. I'm nearly finished. I've only a few more to go. South Africa, Brazil, hello mom, Peru, California, listeners in Texas, New York, Liverpool, Switzerland, and finally, for this week, in Japan. And if I did not call out your country or where you're from, just send in the email and I will shout it out for you. Hector, hello for you next week.
All right, okay. Thank you very much for that, Hector. And yes, folks, if you want to hear Hector giving a shout out, if you want to give your name and where you're from, that's absolutely no problem with us. Just send the email into Arkham Avengers, ffpl@gmail.com, and Hector will look after that. Right, lads, that's it. Time to wrap up the show. Thank you once again for being here, Mick. Nice to have you back. You'll be back next week, will you?
Yeah, I'll be back next week. Yeah, there's no problem with that. I'm planning on going anyplace.
Okay. Hector, you'll be back anyway, unless you're doing some sort of stakeout.
I will be here. I will make calls. I have no way to get to Monaghan. I can't drive. And my friend, the car is getting work done on, so we can't drive anywhere.
And Eamon. Yes, and I'll be back. One of the stalwarts of the show. All right, okay. Well, lads, as always, thanks very much there. By the way, can I ask, is this movie night coming along, or what's the story with it? And we're still trying to decide where to watch it. We've decided, of course, we're watching Waking Ned Devine, and we'll be watching it soon. Most likely when we have a break in the season, I think we'll watch it and then we'll do a little show on that. Okay, that's fine. Just thought I'd touch base on that. All right, thanks, lads. Enjoy the rest of the day, and until we chat to you next week, enjoy your few days. And finally, all that remains for me to say to you, our listeners, is firstly, thanks for joining us, for listening, for subscribing. Don't forget to tell your friends, families, work colleagues about us. We are on pretty much all of the podcast platforms. And we hope that you're keeping well and that you have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world. Remember, stay safe, keep well, and until next week, so long.